Hey, Scott from AristaGrub.com here, and it happens to be July 4th, 2018, which is the 2-year birthday of my Camp Chef SmokePro. And I thought, you know, it's probably a fitting time to give you some feedback on it. And I gotta tell you, let's just cut to the chase. I love it. We love it. We've cooked so much on this thing. We cook primarily here in North Carolina pork butt or pork shoulder to make pulled pork, but we've cooked a bunch of brisket and lots of chicken, whole chickens, chicken parts, cooked a couple turkeys on here, cooked several briskets when we found decent briskets here in the area. We've primarily smoked low and slow on it. And today I decided it's time to put it to a different test. Since it is the 4th of July, we got folks coming over for burgers and for hot dogs. And I have a charcoal grill over here. We could break that out. I just took the cover off and it looks terrible. It's kind of orphaned over there since we got the SmokePro. But we're going to take it on up to the highest temperature, which will be somewhere north of 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to see if this thing really can grill. I don't know. We've cooked cookies and baked biscuits and things like that on it at higher temperatures, but have never tried to grill. So you're going to come along with me. This is a test. I got a little while before everybody arrives, and so I'm going to go ahead and grill these burgers. And if they come out all right, that's the way we're going to do them. If not, we'll just smoke them low and slow, and well, you'll see what happens. So there will come a time where you're going to want to empty the hopper out. I'm changing this out from the pellets I was using to a different flavor. And with the Camp Chef, I've got this little lever right here and a little downspout that I can pour these into. Now when you pull this lever, you get pretty good emptying, but not completely, and you can't reach into here unless you defeat that. Now it did come with a little tool. There's a rake that was on the end of this dowel. Well, that eventually wore off, broke off. And so I still keep the dowel around and use that to push the pellets down the chute. The auger is still filled with pellets, and so I can either use those pellets to start the next burn, or I can empty them out by just using the feed. In order to use the auger to feed those pellets through, I'm going to just go ahead and hit the power on here and then turn this feed, the setting to feed, and it's now going to be dropping those pellets into the combustion chamber, and I'm going to open the trap door on that and just let them drop into the little catcher on the bottom. So the pellets have dropped into that combustion chamber. Let's open this trap door up and drop in there. Just a note on the cleanliness here. I don't ever clean this, ever. I take that back. In 2 years, I cleaned this out once. There is obviously some dust. It doesn't bother me. So the auger is just about empty now. The hopper is pretty much empty. And I've opened this once before. You can drop those on down. And away we go. We've gone through hundreds of pounds of pellets, but this is the first time I've ever tried this. This is called char hickory. This is from a company called Lumberjack, and it's supposed to give a flavor somewhat like charcoal. It's 20% charcoal and 80% hickory, and since we're cooking burgers, seems like a perfect time to test them. All right, so we got her started now. Pellets are feeding into the hopper. We got the black charred pellets in here. It's time to start reassembling. I'm still of the opinion that this should have been stainless steel. As you can see, it's awfully rusty. I got to cover the drip tray with aluminum foil yet. One of the lessons I had to learn being a newbie is the fact that this kind of smoke that we get on startup isn't the kind of smoke that you want to cook over. This smoke is indicative of the fact that the flames are not burning fully at the right temperature, and therefore you're getting kind of an oxygen-starved smoke. You cook over this type of smoke and your meat is going to be very acrid. It's just a nasty taste that you don't want. So as this heats up, not only is it getting it to temperature, but it's getting it to where it burns very efficiently. And the only smoke that we'll see at full temp is a very light blue smoke. Just going to add some salt and pepper to these for our test run. This is from the local meat market, and it's absolutely amazing. Some of my earliest observations about this are still current. It turns out this lid right here over the hopper has not been great. Even though they attempted to have this groove and these holes to drain it, I still get water in here, and so after every smoke I cover this with aluminum foil. I'm going to come up with a better solution than that, but that's what I have to do. Otherwise I come out here and half of my pellets are expanded and exploded. I still haven't straightened this side out since the original delivery bend. I'll get to it. It doesn't seem to cause really any problem. I bought a gasket to put around the lid to seal it. Haven't put that on yet because it doesn't seem to need to be sealed. It just keeps working. Now I just put the aluminum foil down here and you'll notice that there's already some junk on it. That's because I don't really thoroughly clean off the grates after each cook. A buddy of mine years ago taught me that, get the big junk off, and that when you heat it up the next time you use it, that'll thoroughly clean it. That's what I do. And I don't have rusty grates like I used to. So what would I improve on this? Well, many of the things that I would suggest that they did improve already on the woodwind. Some simple little things such as where the port is for putting in the electric probe or the thermometer probe. It was awfully low to the grate, and I had a problem with one of my probes shorting out. Now they've got that much higher up. It also only has wheels on one end, doesn't have casters. The new one has wheels and casters. It doesn't have a shelf on the bottom, so it's kind of wasted space down there. The new one has a shelf on the bottom, which not only gives you a place to put stuff, but it makes the base more rigid. But in general, the fact that it is both a heat source and a smoke source, and it's a bit of a convection oven because there's a fan that's blowing all that heat around, it cooks wonderfully. Now it does still, as I observed on that very first day 2 years ago, it gets hotter on the left-hand side than it does on the right-hand side. And that is entirely because of the way this drip tray works. It's working as a bit of a heat deflector. It's higher on this side, and so as the heat comes up, it gravitates towards this side, which is what you want for smoke anyway, because the smoke comes up, and like an offset smoker, it then works its way over to the smokestack. So I use that to my advantage. Just like on a charcoal grill, you have a hot zone and a cool zone where you can move the meat to cool off and rest a little bit. I use the right-hand side for that area. So it's just something I had to learn, and glad that I learned it really early on. What else would I change about it? Not much. Not much. It has really been a super performer. And so I cook my burgers, but just thought I'd let you know, I love it. I'm going to cook these with the lid open, just like a regular grill. Therefore, this thermometer is not giving me an accurate reading of what the grill temperature is, but it feels about right. We're going to put them on here. Give this a try. We are 7 minutes in, and we are not where I expected to be. And so I think I am going to go ahead and close the lid. I'm disappointed in that, but hopefully that'll help it retain some heat. Well, I'm guessing that was the right move, because after just 2 more minutes, it's starting to get up the temp, and we're getting smoke from drippage. So All right, keep the lid closed. All right, I always hate cooking videos that end without someone tasting, and I just tasted this one just to see how awful it is, because it is cooked a bit more done than I like. So juicy. Also, Jandy, show them what you're making. Bring it over. They can't see. Red, white, and blue deviled eggs. Way to go, low carb.